Hello, and this is my video review of, well, comparison more between four different things I've got from Ultra Sabres. Got a mid-grade blade, 38-inch blade, mid-grade 38-inch blade, heavy-grade Ultra Edge 38-inch blade, a Dominix V4 with windows and sound, and this beast, a Scorpion, the 2-channel Emerald drive and sound. I'm going to start with the blades. The mid-grade blade is good. It's not bad at all. It can take some beating. Don't know if it's showing up on the video here, but there are quite a few dents on it now after a few sparring sessions. It's also a bit brighter than the Ultra Edge, which I hope will show up in a bit. The Ultra Edge here, it's not as bright, but the colour is probably a bit more even throughout the blade, and it's a heavy grade, so as you can see it's quite thick. It's also easily 4 times heavier than the mid grade, which is a lot thinner, as you can see there in the trippy tube. Now the Dominix, this is my first sabre. It's very good. It's nice and simple. The curved lines on it work very well, how it all flows together. It's nice and light, and the choke points make it very comfortable in a one-handed grip, like so. It makes it very well balanced. Or it can work in a two-handed grip, like so. It's very light, very flicky, which is great if you like that sort of thing. My only issue is the batteries and the speaker rattle quite a bit in there. Now Scorpion, this thing is meaty, is the best way to describe it. I mean, on its own it's got quite a bit of weight to it. I can use it one-handed just about. It gets a bit tiring after a while. I could probably use it one-handed because I'm used to using heavier swords as well. But the choke points are very subtle on this. Got the one there and the one on the pommel. Make for a good two-handed grip, or one-handed, and then you can use the pommel, the rest of the hilt to balance it out. And the claw, I just aesthetically I love it. You do have to be careful when dueling with it though, in case you hit your opponent on the hand with the claw. That's my girlfriend can tell you. I went for the claw simply because the horizontal windows, they're only on the front. If they're without the claw, it's just plain. If you chose to not have the claw and there are horizontal windows on the back, I'd have probably gone for that as well. But as it is, this just looks intimidating. I quite like it. I got it in the Emerald drive with a red and blue LED. Had it all set up in purple. At the moment I've got it set to red, which I shall demonstrate with the mid-grade and Ultra Edge, doing a comparison between the two. Just going to pop them in, not bother tightening them up. So this is the mid-grade, and as you can see, I've got, you might be able to see it on that, it's got a bit of a flicker going on. I'm sure quite a lot of you are familiar with how to do that by now, and it is so bright. If I demonstrate without the light, my whole room has just gone red. For Flash on Clash, I chose a slightly purple colour, or pinkish really, which I think works quite well. So we take that out, and now it becomes a very expensive torch. And now this is the Ultra Edge. Straight away you can see it's a lot dimmer, but the colour might not be showing up too well on the camera, but the colour is evenly distributed. Okay, turn that off. Now for the Dominix in violet amethyst. This is the mid-grade blade. Very bright, much brighter than the red even. Yeah, whole room's gone purple. But you might be able to see in the video it gets a bit pinkish towards the end. The colour isn't quite so even. The windows, they are gorgeous though. You can't see them on the camera, but their dents are showing up on the mid-grade. I've put the Ultra Edge in. Again, nothing like as bright, but the colour is a lot more even. Also, with the Dominix, it's quite blade heavy anyway. I have a heavy grade. It's a lot heavier in the blade. The next thing I wanted to talk about with the Scorpion, which I was very surprised to find, is it's got a V4 sound card in. At the moment, that is the SIF sound font. And I love the feature that you can change sound fonts on the go, and how simple it is. Right, it's off. Hold the button in. And then you can cycle through by just pressing it. I'm quite a fan of this one.
Confirm.
Almost sounds like it belongs in Tron, doesn't it? I am quite a fan of that. The sound fonts you got is it's quite a good sound font. That one, I've used it a few times.
Episode 2.
Not such a fan of the Episode 2 sound font. It's very dulled. Not much variety to it either.
Episode 6.
I quite like this one as well.
Confirm.
Sounds like you're in the movie. And then finally,
Episode 6.
sound font 8 is mute, and I love the noise for it. Boop! And of course, setting 1 is his standard Obsidian. And setting 2 is... I'm not sure what to think of this one.
Confirm.
It just seems to sound like the standard Obsidian sound, but with a weird noise going on in the background. That's how quickly you can cycle through the sound fonts. If you go past the one you wanted, you don't have to listen to the description of what one it is, you just go straight past it. I've set it back to Obsidian. I just wanted to try and compare the two. I don't think I've really noticed a difference between the two, the V4 on Obsidian and the V3 Obsidian sound fonts. Whoops.
Confirmed.
You wouldn't believe how many times I've done that already. It sounds quite clear. I suppose the V3 sounds a bit cracklier, but I don't know whether that's to do with the pommel. This is on the Scorpion, you've got a large pommel with small holes in the bottom, whereas with the Dominix, the pommel is literally just a hole. So the Dominix is actually a louder saber than the Scorpion. for the sound. Yeah, that's about it. A comparison of the various sabres I have. One last thing about the Scorpion, it is quite thick. I've got fairly large hands, so it's not a problem for me. People with smaller hands might struggle a bit, or if you're short, I suppose you'd struggle with the length of the hilt with the blade, but it's got quite a deep socket on the Scorpion, so the overall length of the blade compared to the Dominix is about an inch less length on the blade. However, you compare them pommel to pommel, the Scorpion is then about an inch longer. So you do have that little bit of extra reach over your opponent, but at the same time you can also lose it depending on how you're stood. I personally like to use this switching from one-handed to two-handed grip. Can catch people out, and with the weight in this hilt you can use that to knock your opponent's blade about a lot more. Yeah, that is it. Bye.